the first virtual office hours with questions because I hadn't received many questions, so that must mean y'all must know what's going on, and that's a good thing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the problem, and then I'm going to do it on the Word document. I've only got 4 problems, so let's go ahead and get started doing that. If you can see my screen, you see that this first problem, well, I'm going to pull the problem up first. So the first problem, I'll give you the number and the hold on a second, I'm trying to find it. Here's the first one, 2.319/4. 2.319/4. That's the 19th problem in the book in 2.3, and it's number 4 on 2.3 homework. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it and let you look at it. Pause the video so you can write it down, and you'll see it again on the paper here when I pull it up. There's the problem. It says use transformation of graphs to sketch the graphs of the following 3 equations. Graph by sketching. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now on my test, I try not to use this type problem because the graphing is not right, and these equations are not written in the best form. I'm going to show you what I mean. Now with that being said, pause the video. I'm going to pause for 2 more seconds and then let you pause the video and write the problem down. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that now. And I'm going to show you how to do this pretty much. I hope the autofocus is on. I don't think it is. But anyway, there's the problem. No, that's not the problem. That's another problem. There it is. Sorry about that. Let me get these problems out of the way so I can. And I'll try to write big enough to where you can see it. There's the problem, and it's supposed to have autofocus. Let me check to see if the autofocus is. Here it is. See if the manual focus does better. Nope. Well, we'll just leave it the best we can. That's all I can do. I'd rather have it landscape, but my printer would not cooperate today, so we're just going to have to go with what we got. My pens are all over the place, and we'll just grab a couple. The first one says y sub 1 is equal to x squared minus 4. Now this one is in okay form. Okay, the coefficient a is equal to 1, and if you watch my videos on vertical and horizontal shifts and orientation, you know this is the parent graph because it's 1x squared. Since 4 is not included with the square, then it is the vertical shift. So that means that we've got a vertical shift of 4, and you've got a regular parabola. So that's what that is what you would graph on your graph. Now the other 2 is where we start running into problems with the MyLabs Plus graph, because 1, I think they have the problems written incorrectly, and I think the problem, the people that programmed in the answer might have looked at the problem incorrectly because of the way it was written. I don't agree with the answers on this question. So I'm going to tell you what the answer is, and you can just go with that information. The second one says y sub 2 is equal to, first of all, I'm not going to write it like that because that's not the way you write it. 1/4, because 1/2 squared is 1/4, and then x squared minus 4. Here we have a coefficient of 1/4. That means it's going to be wider. That means it is compressed along the y-axis, like a balloon, pressing vertically up and down on a balloon, or stretched on the x-axis. So in other words, we still got our vertical shift of 4, but this time, think of this purple parabola as a balloon, and you're going to put your hand on it right here, and your hand on it right here, and you're going to compress it on the x-axis, on the y-axis, and you're going to pinch it and pull it this way. What will it look like? It's going to look like this. Now, where the problem has the wrong answer, I don't know what I think they're thinking that 1/2 is it. So if you get it wrong with saying 1/4 on a stretch on the x-axis or compression on the y-axis, if you put 1/4 and it's wrong, then go back and put 1/2, even though it's incorrect. The answer is 1/4, but I disagree with this question. That's why I don't use it on the test. And the third one, we'll do it in a bright pink, so that way, this problem right here, I'm going to write it the correct way. Y sub 3 is equal to 16x squared minus 4. Again, you've got the 16, which means it's going to be compressed along the stretched along the y-axis and compressed along the x-axis, which means if the purple was a balloon and you pinched it and pulled it up that way and pinched it and pulled it down that way and put your hand this way and compressed and this way compressed, you would have a balloon that would be very skinny. And those are the 3 answers. Now, again, I disagree with the answer. I actually did this problem and I got it wrong. And I put in 1/4 and 16 and I got it wrong. And then I did the next question, similar question, and I got it right. So I think there's something wrong with this question. I think the answer is programmed in incorrectly. So I hope that works on that one. Let me go back to the handy dandy email and let's get rid of that one. And the next one is, I'm going up the list. I think they're in some kind of order. There's one. This one is 2.5, 13 in the book, number 7 online. 13 in the book, number 7 online. And this is a piecewise function. I actually showed my 109, I'm at my 130 class. If you watch the 130 videos, it's the algebra review. I showed them this problem, one like it. You got to do them in pieces. Okay, now I'm gonna let you pause the video and we'll come back and do the problem. I'm gonna pause mine because I have something I need to check on. Let me move this out of the way. Well, you just need to see the question. There you go. Okay, we're back, and I hope you wrote down the problem. I'm going to do these in colors also because we need to see where everything is. So I'm going to make a big graph. Now, I don't have a straight edge, so I don't know if I have a straight edge. Hold on just a sec. Yes, I do. A good teacher is always prepared. Oops. Let me switch over to my handy dandy. There we go. Again, it's not the best in the world, and I wanted to have landscape so I could zoom it better, but this is the only way I could do it right now. Here is my graph, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it big because you need to see all of these. Okay? I wish I could do something with that sunlight, but when you have cats, this is what happens. They mess up the blinds. So hopefully that'll adjust itself out. Well, anyway, there's the actual problem. I'm trying to get it to focus, and for some reason the focus is out. And I can't zoom in, so anyway, thanks to my printer. The first problem is, first of all, rewrite them because they're not written in the right way. This is 2x plus 3, and you can only use numbers that are less than -4. So you can't, all you can use is -3, -2, I'm sorry, -4, -5, -6, and so on. You can't use -4. I don't know. I think I'm losing it. Sorry. -5, -6, and so on. All right, that's what that means right there. The next one, that's in purple. The next one is -2x, and you can only use from -4 to +5. The only x values you can use are from -4 to +5. All right? And the third one, we'll do in that pink again, is 3x, and you can only use numbers that are greater than 5. So you can only use 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. Now, also, this right here tells us that it's an open circle. This right here says closed circle. And this right here says open circle. All right, so we're ready to draw it. I'm trying to get rid of that shadow. I don't know how I can get rid of it. I meant that reflection, but anyway. What I don't understand is why is it not auto-focusing? There we go. Kind of helps if you turn it on, Hubert. Okay, so I don't know if that's any better or not, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. All right, let's do the first one, 2x plus 3. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to do x, y, 2x plus 3, and I'm going to use -5, -6, -7, -8. Okay, so -5, that's going to be a -20, 5 times 2 is 10. -10 plus 3 is -7. Okay. -12 plus 3 is -9. -7, that'd be -14 plus 3 is -11. Looks like we're adding 2. That'd be -13. Let's check. -8. Oops, I'm sorry. See, there. That's what I'm doing right there. I'm plugging in numbers. Okay? That's why landscape works better on this. I'm checking to see. -8 is -16 plus 3 is -13. So we do check. So here's my numbers for the purple line. -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And -6, -8. -7, I mean -9, -11. And -8, -13. So you basically got a line going like that. Now what goes, open circle, so this is an open circle. Now that dot, disregard that dot, that's an open circle right there. Next line is the green line. And we know we can only go from -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can only go from -4, and I think yeah, that's right. I can't use, well, -4. I can put I messed up. I need to put a -4 here. -4 is -8. That plus 3 is -5. So let me fix that. So -4 is a -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our point right there. I'm sorry, I messed up. Okay, there's the line for the purple. I just saw that. Now, from -4, I'm going to do -2x. So I've got to plot that. So I'm going to go up here and draw a x and a y. And I can only use, -4, and I can use, so a -4 and -5. Oh, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, ... 5. Okay? So -4 times -2 is 8. -5 times 2 is 10. -2 times 2 is 4. -1 times 2 is 2. 0, and then 5 times 2 is -10. So -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a positive 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now remember, this is a closed circle because because of this guy right here and right there. Okay? So -5. I'm sorry, -3. Can't read my own writing. 1, 2, 3, and positive 10. That's not right. -3, that's a 6. -3 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of irritating when you're a teacher and you're worried about the focus of this thing and that shadow coming in. That really bothers me, and it's messing up my thinking. -2, positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And -1, 2. 0, 0. And I'm going to go ahead and go to 5 and -10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that gets an open circle, a closed circle. And here is the line that goes with that middle part. And now the pink, that's going to be 3x, and we can use x, y. We can use 6, 7, 8, and I'm just going to use those 3. 6 times 3 is 18, 7 times 3 is 21, 8 times 3 is 24. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can use 5. I forgot about that one. 5. 5, I can't plot it, but I can put an open circle at it. 5 times 3 is 15. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I kind of cheated a little bit. And then 6 is going to be 18. And then 18 right there. So you got a line going like that. So you got 3 lines. You got one line in the lower third quadrant. You got one line right here going through the origin, and you got one line going like this. So I guess you need to match it up and pick A, B, or C. And from what I see, I can't see under everything. Looks like to me C is going to be your answer, but those are very small, so you just have to match it up the best way you can. There is a way you do this on a calculator. You can research it and type in the inequalities. Type in piecewise function on TI-84, and you should be able to do that. The next one we got, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. This one is completing the square, and if you know me on completing the square, I really do push completing the square. So here it is, and it says, if you can't read it, it says, which is the only equation that does not require step 1 of completing the square. Well, let me show you what step 1 is as I go through the videos and show you. X squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Actually, the first step is to set it equal to 0. That's the first step. The second step is to move C over to the other side. So that would be x squared plus 4x plus blank is equal to negative 4 plus blank. Then, I think this is what they're talking about. I'm just going to go through the steps and we'll just match it up. Now, you go half of 4, b divided by 4, b divided by 2 and square it. 4 divided by 2, square it. And that's equal to 2 squared, which is 4, and that 4 goes there and there. And then you get shortcut number 1 or 2 over here. And that's shortcut number 1. X plus 2, quantity squared, is equal to 0. And I think that's what they're looking for, but I don't know. You just have to... wait a minute. This was an example. This is an example. I'm sorry. So with this problem, which of the only equation? This is such a backwards step. Moving it over so you can see, because it's hard for me to see with that sunlight. Well, there's the quadratic, and then bring the 5 over. I'm just going to do the problem. I'm sorry. Some of these questions are so, well. Which is the only equation which does not require step 1 of the method for completing the square? Well, step 1, it all depends on what your step 1 is. My step 1 is setting equal to 0. I guess A would be it, because you got to set equal to 0 first. That's my first step. This is not a very good question. I would not ask this question on the test. I would ask a complete the square question, but this question is like, how do you get up and tie your shoes in the morning? I mean, people do that different ways. So, not a good question as far as my test, but I think the question is A. I think the answer is A. This question says, show that, hold on a minute. Now we got major problems. There we go. Touch anything on my keyboard and it goes bonkers. Okay. This question says, show that the square root of 2 over 2, I'm just going to rewrite it so you can see it. Show that the square root of 2 over 2 plus square root of 2 over 2i is a square root of I. That's what the directions say. Is always equals square root of I. There it is. Well, in order to do this problem, you got to get rid of the radical, which means you got to square both sides. And now you got shortcut number 1 on the left. And if you've been following my videos, you know how important the shortcuts are. So hopefully you've been following the videos. That gives you I. I'm going to write in purple because it's hard to see. That's going to be I is equal to, well, this is A plus B quantity squared, which is equal to A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Now, if you don't know that and you haven't watched the videos, then you're behind. So the square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2i, and square root of 2 over 2i. That's how you do shortcut number 1. And when you square this, you're going to knock that out, and that's going to give you 2 over 4 plus, I'm going to write everything out so you can see what's going on. 2 square root of 4, square root of 2, square root of 2 over 4 plus square root of 2 squared is 2. 2 squared is 4. I squared is I squared. Okay, this reduces down to 1/2. This reduces down to 1/2. And square root of 2 times square root of 2 is what? The square root of 4, Hubert. That's right. And square root of 4 is 2. Okay, and that's equal to I. And you just work the math and keep on going. That's 1/2 plus this right here is going to be 2 over 2, which is 1, plus 1/2 I squared. And in order to, you got 1/2 plus, this is 1/2. So that's 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1, plus 1/2 I squared is equal to I. And that's going to give us, this is 2 over 2. Hold on a second, make sure I'm doing this right. Yeah, I think I'm doing it right. I might have made an error somewhere. Hold on just a minute and let me do the finish the problem. I'm going to go over here and pause the video right quick to make sure I'm looking at the problem right before I go on. Hold on just a second. I caught my mistake, and my mistake is right here. I dropped that I didn't add it. That's a very easy mistake to make. There we go. Now, this is the good part. I squared. Now, one thing you need to know about I. Here's the rules for I. I is equal to the square root of -1, and I squared is equal to -1. So therefore, this right here turns into -1. So now we've got 1/2. I don't want to write in green. Let me finish right here. We got, I'm sorry, I'm going to change this back to 1/2 because I dropped the I. We're going to just erase that right there. 1/2 plus 1I plus or minus 1/2, because that I squared is -1, which makes this a -1/2. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the wrong thing up. There we go. So there's the I squared is equal to -1, and I is equal to -1, and I squared is equal to -1. So I dropped my I right here, which messed up everything, and that makes that that I squared, that's -1. -1 times 1/2 is -1/2, and the -1/2, I don't have a red pen, so I'm going to use a pink pen. The -1/2, the half and the -1/2 cancels, and you're left with I is equal to I. And we just proved that all of that up there is equal to I squared, or the square root of I. Okay, is this a test question? No. Is it a question to check your algebra with shortcuts and with I? Yes. So it's more of a review question than it is an actual question. Okay, so that's hopefully I can do. I wasn't able to do the virtual office hours at the office. Hopefully I can rectify that next time, and hopefully I won't have to use this with this this shadow coming in, or I can fix the shadow. Anyway, I hope everybody has a good day and keep those questions coming.